we're going to send you 2 new templates, okay, additional templates.
Okay.
One's going to be the Homestead Body and Land Exemption Declaration. And then the other one's going to be letters of quit claim deed for the certificate of baptism. Okay, so they'll just be templates that you guys can use. Does anybody have any questions on what's going on here?
Well, I sort of get it, but I see there's lots of implications in these words. I having a hard time getting a grip on general owner and who's the general owner in this case.
They are the general owner. We're the actual living owner, okay? You have to read that in a different, they sort of messed up in how they wrote that definition up, okay? You have to think about it logically, okay?
Yep.
Then when it comes down to larceny by general, okay, then you can see what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about larceny by the general owner, which is basically going in and committing a larceny against the real owner.
Mm.
See, that's what I'm saying. You have to look at a lot of these words in dual connotation to try and find out what's really going on. And then in some cases, you have to go outside of the law dictionaries and go to the a big Webster's dictionary or Oxford Universal Dictionary. Because like in Homestead, you're not going to find the definition of stead in there in the law dictionaries. But you go into Oxford Universal Dictionary, and you've got almost a half a page in the dictionary there about stead. See, it's more important than basically you have to break some of these words down, and you have to find out what the meaning of the second part of the word is. One of the key laws that's out here that has been on the books for thousands of years is not even addressed in the law dictionaries. That's because they've messed up the meaning of the word down through the ages. This quick claim deed is nothing more than Passover, which is called out in the Bible. The Holy Ghost passed over the Hebrews. The fiction passed everything back to the living Hebrews. Passover, quick claim. Any comments? Please, you guys open up your mics and get on here, okay? I hate to be the only one here sitting talking.
Hey, Patrick,
Steve's
here.
Comment, put the comment in, okay? Go ahead, Steve.
I just got on the call, like as you spoke about the general part, the general what do you call it? The larceny.
General owner.
No, yeah, general owner, but larceny. That's when I came.
Larceny in general.
Yeah, larceny in general.
Larceny and fraud, and larceny in fact, or what was the other larceny there that I had? Trick. Larceny by trick or whatever.
Right, that's when I came on. I didn't hear what you said before that, but I'll get it on the recording.
Okay.
And the word special is very important in this whole damn deal. I just took Pretty much
realize.
most of the words for special that I thought were key in the understanding in there. Special court, special judge. Okay? And then also special fund doctrine.
Right.
But see, most people don't know what the special fund doctrine is. Basically, it is, we are a municipality. Too many people out here have been trying to fight against being a municipality, but we are. Okay? We are a municipality by prescription. You can look that up in the dictionary. I went over, had those words posted before, too. We were a corporation that was made up out of three. The Spirit, the man, and the Holy Ghost, our fictional person. And right now our Holy Ghost, our fictional person, is holding all of our assets under a dead contract, or a contract with the dead world. And now we have to have the quit claim. He quits his claim and passes it over to us. Passover, just like what happened in Egypt.
Passover to the living.
Yes.
You said, right?
Okay, yes. That's the only type Passover there is, okay?
Right.
And basically you have to mark yourself that you are going to have the Passover by your mark, okay? This is being done. And you have to present yourself with the three I ams. I am the fiction. I am the ecclesiastical notary. I am the executorial trustee. The three I ams that Jesus did with Pilate. To get his document, to get himself apostilled. And Pilate came out and say, I find no fault with this man.
The three I ams you said are the notary, the fiction, and the what else? The living, or what?
The executorial trustee.
Oh, yeah,
okay, the three signatures that I have on these quick claim deeds.
Right.
They're all your name in some form or another. So that's I am, and I am. I am all three.
The executorial trustee is the one who has the authority to do the Passover.
No,
the living,
he basically is getting it passed over from the fiction.
Right.
The Holy Ghost passes it over. But you have to have all three on the document, and then you have the notary verify. And only you can verify the other two. You think that a damn county or public notary is going to notify or notarize a fiction? They can't. They can't notarize a ghost.
So only you can authorize the other two.
Yeah. So that's what these documents are all about. This is the final stage, okay? Whether you people believe it or not, okay? It's a done deal.
Right.
You have to have faith and belief in what is going on here. And see, most people don't understand the damn Bible out here. They think they do, and then basically when I try and correct them, basically they're all huffy-puffy, and basically, oh no, that can't be that way. Well, basically prove it to yourself. It is that way. Pass over. What the hell is pass over? You're passing something over from one place to another. The law dictionaries don't have it because they don't want you to know about Passover. Quit claim is the term that's used out here in the modern world. Your fiction has to quit his claim and turn it over to the living. This is in the Bible numerous times out here, okay? Even in Luke, okay, it's the latest one about Passover, but they didn't clarify it, and the bankers, the writers out here, the church religious leaders, hid a lot of this stuff away from the people by their confusion in writings. Getting everybody to think that there was some hocus-pocus thing floating around out in space there that's passing them over. God, people, wake up. Get into the reality of the world. Enough of this bullshit out here. About time you said enough is enough. We have been to all the right places in this process. The one key thing we were missing was the quit claim deed, the Passover, in the whole damn process. Because about 4 years ago, I went and got a bunch of my documents apostilled. So we were doing that right at that point in time. We went to the bankruptcy courts. We went to the chief judge for the federal district. And that's where we have to go to. Did not Moses go to, and he got his stuff apostilled at the court of the Pharaoh. And the Pharaoh was basically, the kings took the title of Pharaoh also. Instead of calling him the king of Egypt, they were now called the Pharaoh of Egypt because they were operating under the dead monetary system. The debt. The pharaohs came into power by going and the guy that started it set up station at the gates of the cemetery to charge the dead to be buried. Go and download the book of Jasher. Read some of the stuff in there.
What book is that?
They got several good court cases in there, okay?
What book is that?
Jasher, or whatever it is.
Joshua?
No.
Huh?
It's Jasher, Jasher. It's part of the Apocrypha.
Okay. I'll have to go to that.
Jasher, the book of Jasher, and there's 91 chapters in it.
I'll post
one of the key ones where they set up the first Pharaoh is in chapter 14. But there's a good court case in chapter 19 or 20, I can't remember which one it was, about where this one guy goes into Sodom and basically tries to defend somebody and get his property back for him. This other guy throws a stone, hits him in the head, and causes him to bleed. Well, then basically the guy that's threw the stone is trying to claim that, hey, you owe me because I caused bad blood to flow out of you. So now you owe me. He took him to court. The judge ruled that basically that guy was right. So what did the guy that the good guy, he picked up a stone and threw it and hit the judge. Said, here now, you owe me for the bad blood that I just caused to come out of you, so you pay this guy over here.
Wow.
If you understand what was going on there, that's basically what is going on in these damn court systems. You have to get to the right person in the process. And see, we're a municipality, so we fall under the special fund doctrine. And under the special fund doctrine, the funds that are being withheld from the municipality under these insurance policies are the ones that have to pay the bill. Under the special fund doctrine for a municipality, the municipality is not obligated to pay out of the general fund for those items. The general fund is your back pocket. So you have to know how to interpret the definitions of these words, too. Who is who?
Did you say that the guy became Pharaoh in book 31?
Chapter 14.
Oh, 14, okay. And you said 19 was a good one, too.
Well, 19 or 20, I can't remember which one it is, but that references a court case. You go into the Bible in a lot of these places, and you can find the exact example of a lot of your court cases that we're dealing with right now. Nothing has changed under the sun. Your remedy is right there. But you have to know the words, because that's really what was called out in the Bible, to know the word. And until you know the word, just like word is plural, just like person and people is also, in some cases, classified as plural, it's also classified as singular. You are a people. And you're made up of three persons. So you're a singular people. This was one of the key things that was never brought out in the educational system in this country. Telling you the right words and the proper understanding of the words, because most of the teachers, they never understood them to begin with anyway. And then they were operating under all the falsehoods that the churches, the religious churches, had put in place. One of the key things that came out of the whole religious church scenario is that they come in and they claim your body. The baptismal certificate to take away your original sin. Well, what did they do? They just took away your body by putting a lease onto your body. Now they control your body. Because the original sin is the debt that you owe back to Mother Nature, to the earth. easy correlation of understanding that is that basically the body is made up of 90 or 70% water. The earth is also made up on the surface of 70% water.
Mm.
Pretty easy correlation when you think about these things logically. See, we owe our existence to the minerals and the water that came from the earth. I don't know how many movies are out there. Dunes is a good one about the water. Retrieval of the water from the body to put it back into circulation. But there's a lot of others out there that have tried to put some of this understanding in, because some of those screenwriters out there writing these scripts basically have a partial understanding of what is out of the Bible. They may not have it all brought forward into modern terminology, but basically it's there. So right now you have to do a quick claim against your baptismal certificate, against your certificate of live birth, against your DD-214. You can do against any other items that you have out there, okay? Your driver's license, your Social Security card. You're going to have to do that. Social Security card's one. And then also, and see, the Social Security card is by a special agency, government agency. So that has to go to Washington, D.C. Whether you send it directly to the office in Washington, D.C. or in the roundabout way or whatever, to the office in Virginia. Go in and look up Apostille at the federal level, and you'll see this. Now, if you have a federal court case, you can basically turn around and do your quick claim deeds and put them into the court and demand an apostille from that court. The federal courts are also authorized to do apostilles. The state courts should be able to do state apostilles, like for your driver's license or your certificate of title to the vehicle or the house. Because they were basically issued out at the state level. You have to get these apostilled, these quick claim deeds apostilled, and you do it in the country that you use is United States of America. Because we're dealing with foreign countries within the boundaries of the United States of America. And all of these state of, Iowa, state of whatever, all capital, and even the state of, the correct term is state of United States, D.C., okay? That's a foreign state. Now, all these state ofs out here are special bastards. The definition is on those pages that I posted up there. They were created and basically born before the merger of the parents, the government, and the bankers. So basically they were a special bastard. They are accepted by ecclesiastical law, okay? And in that form, the ecclesiastical law is referring to the churches, the 501c3 and all the other shithead churches out here. They will recognize that special bastard. But common law will not. See, some of these definitions are really telling you one hell of a lot of information. I put the Apostille letter up there going to the Secretary of State at D.C. Pretty much the only thing you have to do different is change the value, the number of documents you're putting in, the money order value, and the header for the Secretary of State you're sending it to.
Mm-hmm.
And your address. Put your address. Don't use mine. I don't want to see your documents come back to me. And you put a self-addressed envelope in there with it, so you make sure you've got enough mailing on that. Go down there and throw about 3 or 4 extra heavy sheets of paper on top of that. Find out what the price of that is, and then have them put the stamps on it, and then fold that up and put it in along with your money order, your cover letter, and your quitclaim deeds. The best thing to do is if you can walk them in. You get them walked in, and basically they will sign them that day. Now, you have to basically know what you're talking about when you go there. Why are you demanding this? And I try to be very explicit on that letter. They have to accept an ecclesiastical notary. It doesn't say who the ecclesiastical notary is. That's your belief minister, ministerial clerk. We have our own court clerk for our municipality. You could even claim that he's a public notary. But if you get into the public notary or notary public, basically then they're going to want the identification number under their system. So you're best to stay as an office of ecclesiastical notary. That basically puts them out, your notary outside of their jurisdiction. But they have to accept that, because it's also coming in as one of the 3 I ams. And they have to find fault with this document if they're going to refuse the apostille.
Hey, Patrick, I got a question about the special bastard state ofs. You said that, the common law will not recognize them. I understand that. But you said that they're created before the merger of, quote, the parents of the state of.
Right.
So can you explain that a little bit better? Because I don't get it right now. I mean, Is the parent...
The state of was created back under the 14th Amendment.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
Now, when did the merger of the parents take place? When did the marriage take place? Between the
state and the government? Between the state and the government?
And the bankers. 1913.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So basically, it's a bastard, a special bastard. Because, see, the state of was created in under the 14th Amendment, which was back in 1870.
Okay.
The special bastard basically didn't get legitimized in a way until basically the marriage took place. The parents got married.
Which was 1913.
And the bankers, 1913.
Right, okay.
Okay? See, you got to think about these things.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Put a timeline down and basically then start looking at this stuff.
Okay.
See, that's what most people have a hard time doing. They can only think 6 months in advance or 6 months in the past.
Yeah, now it's clear because the dates like set up the forward-backward time thing. You know, like
yes.
Now you can see it. That's why it's a bastard. So yeah, they planned it all. Yeah, it was planned ahead of time.
Yeah.
Just like they planned
the child was created before the marriage took place.
Yeah, that even happened with I think the United States. They were talking about the United States when it was just the United States of America. They were talking about it like.
Well, don't go there. Okay, let's just stick on target for what we got right now. Okay.
So the parents are the merger between the government and the bankers.
Yes. Okay, that's the marriage contract.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
To try and make something that was a bastard a legitimate.
Yeah. Made legitimate. Made, quote, legitimate.
Made to appear legitimate.
Yeah.
It's still a bastard, in my opinion. Under common law, it's still a bastard.
Right.
I like the distinction in the definition of special bastard, though, that bastard is one born before the marriage of his parents who intermarry thereafter. This was not bastardly by ecclesiastical law, but by common law it is.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. The churches are claiming to be ecclesiastical, but they're not. They're a fraud unto themselves. The ecclesiastical is we the people. We're the ecclesia. We're the belief. And see, they brought in a false religion into the picture. And a vast majority of all the going across the nation, basically, it was friends, okay? Sort of like what they called the Quakers. Most of the communities were set up as friends. That was their belief system. They operated in friendship to establish the community. They didn't establish the community in the name of the Roman Catholic Church or the Lutheran Church or the Methodist or the Presbyterians or the Jehovah's Witnesses. They established it as a friendship neighborhood. See, these documents, you have to get these things out, okay? And like I said, the best thing to do, I mean, you want to be out of the system this week? Really? You want to be out of the system this week. You do these documents, you sign them, you put your embosser on it, and you take them down and you get them apostilled. Now, if you don't have quick access to go to Washington D.C. to get it apostilled there, then basically turn to the federal courts. Especially if you've already got a court case open. Now, if you had a closed court case, petition the judge to reopen that court case. You can reopen a case. You just have to petition that judge to do it. Whether it be in bankruptcy or whether it be at the federal district court level.
Yeah, so I do have a bankruptcy back in Nebraska. I can go after.
Well, you just
you ain't going to drive back to Nebraska there, Tom, okay? You're going to have to set up one and go to the federal court there in Ohio.
Yeah, probably Cleveland.
If you don't have one previously set up, you're going to have to petition in, and you're going to have to come in that basically you are insolvent, whatever.
Right.
But you put it in, and basically you're coming into that court under a right of Passover. You have the right of Passover. And see, that is fully justified in the Bible. That is one of your natural rights. Is that of Passover. Didn't know about that right, did you?
No.
When you were talking about bringing up, the churches are the ones that brought in a false belief by letting the church believe that the government, which was involved in special larceny, is that the false belief? Is that what you're saying?
The government is a belief system, too. It's a religious system, okay? Because they've got everybody believing that those damn codes of law are real law. They're not.
Right.
One of the definitions out there states that, okay? Let me pull that up.
Because codes of law are not real law. Yeah, they're operational regulations for, quote, a corporation or something. And, I mean, that's the way I would understand it.
Yeah, but there's a word definition for it, okay?
Okay.
Basically, that's what I'm trying to say is I didn't put these words together for naught, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You need to read these words and understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
Home rule, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The powers of local self-government conferred upon municipalities by constitutional provision. Well, it doesn't really call out home rule in there, but what is the other word that is used to identify home rule? Anybody have an idea?
Homestead.
Okay, yes, it's homestead.
And the key word there is stead.
Well, you got to know what that really means. And when you go and look it up in the dictionary, the real dictionary, not just the law dictionaries, but you have to look up in a civilian dictionary.
Mm-hmm.
And then see they're operating under special commissions, which is a violation of the Constitution, as the term was used in a constitutional prohibition against the legislative delegation of municipal functions to any special commission. The object of the provision was held to be to prevent the state legislature from interfering with local governments by the appointment of its own special commissions for the control of purely local matters. And that insurance commission in the state is basically a special commission that is now regulating your local matters under special contracts. And they set up a special occupant in the place, the status of an heir in possession, but under the terms of a grant, not by right of inheritance. He is an heir in possession right now, but he is not the one that has the lawful right of inheritance. You, as the living individual, have the right of inheritance. Extraterritorially. Okay, extraterritorial. Outside the boundaries of the state or country. Okay, the boundaries of the state government is not your backyard. Okay? Your backyard is your backyard. The highways, they don't have territorial jurisdiction over those. Okay? The operation, extraterritoriality, the operation of laws of a state or country beyond or outside the physical boundaries, the function of a diplomatic officer, although actually in a foreign country, remains in the territory of his sovereign, applied in support of the immunities and privileges of ambassadors and other public ministers serving in a foreign country. Then you go on to the next definition that's right below that, that is in Latin or whatever. A person may not, with impunity, obey the laws laid down by a body exercising jurisdiction outside its territorial limits. Territorial limits of the state of Iowa, the state of United States. Where is their territorial limits? The state capital area. That is their only territorial limit. They are exercising a judicial or a jurisdiction outside of its territorial limits. So that's what it says. A person may not, with impunity, obey the law laid down by a body exercising jurisdiction outside its territorial limits.
A person may not obey a law with impunity that has been laid down outside or extraterritorial.
By a body, by a government exercising jurisdiction outside its territorial limits. The government territorial limits for the state of Iowa is basically the state capital area. They do not have jurisdiction outside on the streets outside the state capital. And I'm not talking about, like in my case, Des Moines being the state capital. I'm talking about the Capitol building and all the government buildings. Mm-hmm. That's their territory.
Unless you give them jurisdiction.
Unless you give them. And it may not with impunity. Okay, so you need to look up impunity, freedom, or exemption from punishment, immunity. You have to start getting good at using some of these words. Mm-hmm. Read them aloud. Talk to yourself in the mirror. Talk to other people about these, if you got somebody to talk to. And see, basically I had to put the letter in the process of letters of special, what did I say? Letters of quick claim deed. Okay, they have to be letters. You look up the definition of letters. Okay, with an S on the end. A public or private document granting or delegating some power or authority. And that's our letters of quick claim. They're delegating, granting, or delegating the power or the authority for that document. And then we have to come in also making our presence known, our statutory presence be known. Because they're operating as we are absent. That's the only way that they can have control over us, is because we are essentially absent. Because we haven't put our Passover letters in. Now, special administrators, basically, then also duress of property. That's a good one to know.
Duress of property?
Duress of property.
Right, okay.
Okay? Duress by public utility. The extraction of a payment demanded for services under threat of termination of service, thereby causing great injury to the property or business of the customer.
What was the threat again? The threat of terminating?
Termination of service.
Yeah, of termination, okay.
Yes. Read the duresses, okay?
Yeah, because whether the bill is right or fraudulent or whatever substance they're charging you, that's still a duress.
Yes, you have to basically address them that they have to pay that out of their special fund that they're drawing from under the special fund doctrine. See, where are they getting their damn funds from? Okay? They're borrowing it. And they're borrowing it from the special fund of the country. And you're part of the country.
Right.
Yes, larceny by fraud, okay? And then larceny by trick. And basically larceny by fraud and basically larceny by trick mean the same damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to know what trick is. Trick is an artifice. You have to know what artifice is. Cunning, deception, a trick, a fraud. All the codes of laws are artifices being played upon the real laws of the state. That's from the Divine Dictionary.
Mm-hmm.
Codes of law are the artifices of the real laws of the state.
No, they are the artifices being played upon the real laws of the state. It's the very last definition that I put on page 11 of that latest document.
Being played on like a trick on the real
laws.
Yes,
it's a trick upon the real laws. A fraud upon the real laws. A deception upon the real laws. A cunning upon the real laws. You can put all those different words into that same scenario because that's what an artifice is.
Yeah, and obviously it's a trick if they're double dipping.
Don't go there. Just understand what basically the system is, okay?
Right.
Everybody gets all huffy and puffy. Basically, I'm getting screwed over. Basically, the only person that's screwing you over is you because you don't understand what you're doing.
Right. That's true.
We've made too many damn false presumptions out here to our own demise.
Mm-hmm.
Just like we go and we went into bankruptcy. I was treated with total respect in the bankruptcy court. I was the only one there, but basically I had all these government officials there, and then I got approached by the FBI later on outside in the hallway saying there's something about threatening the judge. But they wanted to see how far and how much I knew. Well, I knew quite a bit, but I didn't know everything because basically I would have been out of the system 4 years ago if I would have had the quick claim deeds there and had them presented to the court. That's what the U.S. Marshals were waiting there for. They were waiting for the marching orders to go and seize my property. All those courthouses basically have access to all the computers for all the different funds. The insurance policies that are all out here for the marriage license, for the mortgage on the house, for the student loan. All of that shit is basically in those damn federal courthouses or annexes. That's why there's so damn much security around those damn buildings, because they could really give a shit about the damn people that are working there. They could always replace them, but they have to protect the access to the computers. because that is the backbone of the country, the monetary backbone. So you get these documents done. If you haven't got an updated copy of your certificate of live birth, I recommend you get that in the mail or go down and get one, if you can, right away from the state, because you're going to want to have one so that you can sign it over to them when it comes down to the final scenario in the delivery process. Certified copy of your DD-214. Certified copy of your baptismal certificate. Copy of your Social Security card. Your driver's license, whatever. You're going to relinquish all of those documents over to them. Now, basically, if you have read the document about the quick claim deed on the certificate of live birth, and then also on this homestead, basically is when we terminate these things, we're also terminating all of the special, let me see, what did I call that? Special contracts. I did that one on baptismal one, but with the other document, let's see, with Social Security, I called it, I guess just said special contracts there too. Thought there was another item there. Special. You got the special commission. You got the special contracts.
Yeah, Social Security.
You've got this,
Social Security special purpose contract.
Special purpose contract. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you look that up in the definitions, and there's a special purpose instrument, okay? I think I just put, let me see. Yeah, so you go through those special, specialty, special fund, specialty, special occupant, special power of appointment. Special administrator, special appearance. I had that. That must have been under special contract that I saw they were calling that a special purpose contract. Or that they could be special purpose contracts. Best thing you can do is print those definitions out and then go through and highlight them on top of what some of the highlighting that I already did. On each word, go down through each one. And then always, if you come up, like I've said before, many times over, if there's a word in the definition, make sure you fully understand what that word really means by going and looking up that other word. Novation, the extinguishment of one obligation by another. Extinguishment of debt. The extinguishment or extinguishation or cancellation of a debt as by payment by merger of the debtor and the creditor.
You were looking for special contracts, right? a contract under seal, a specialty?
Yeah, basically, yeah. See, that's what there's special provisional document or whatever.
Right.
I may not have copied that one out of this item. I was going through so many of the damn specials at that point in time. Might have been under specialty too. Let me see where the hell. No. Statute. The written will of the legislative department. It's a will. Thy will be done. See, that's where will comes into power. The Bible is a testamentary. The Testament, the New Testament, the Old Testament. Those wills are still valid. The New Testament, like Jesus said, I come to show you the way and the path. I do not come to change one tittle of the existing laws. He just tried to show you the modern term of how to get out of the system at his point in time. I'm trying to do the same damn thing right now, showing you how to get out of a system. By doing the Passover that basically was created, the term was created by Moses back in the book of Exodus. How to exit out of the system. The Expatriation Act that was put in place by Lincoln. This quitclaim deed is your Expatriation Act. So you can read that document over that I've had posted up there before, the Expatriation Act. Read it with a new understanding.
Okay.
Well, your explanations really weave together pretty nicely.
Well, it's all there, okay?
Yeah.
And now it's up to you guys. How fast do you want to get out of the system? Okay?
Tomorrow.
Like, know it, believe it, and do it.
Yes, and basically put the damn bowling, put running off to all the children's recitals and different things like that aside. What is more important to you? To get what belongs to you away from them, then you can have all your free time to do whatever you want to with your damn family. But you're not going to be able to protect your family if you're constantly running after them. You have to make your priorities. Just like the old miner. Basically, he strapped everything, bought all his supplies, strapped them onto the back of an ass, and headed out to the damn mountains to find his fortune. He risked everything. That's the type person you have to be. You want out of the system, you're going to have to risk just about everything you have. Because the reward is waiting for you. You just have to have the faith and belief that it is there. And they can't take this away when you come at it from the right retrospect. It's sort of like, I'm going to do an analogy here. Basically, you have a dragster, okay? It normally goes in a straight line. But if the wheels are just off a tweak, you're not going to make that straight line run. You're going to go over into the other lane. But you have to practice to find out how to make the proper adjustment in the process. Speed, control, you name it. All the different factors that come into play in this process. And that's what we've been doing. We've been out here tweaking a lot of this stuff. In some cases, we got out here and we were tweaking one thing ahead of something else that needed to be brought in the process. And we were missing the damn engine. So we couldn't go anywhere anyway. And the engine was the quit claim deed under Apostille. The Passover document that should have been the most obvious to any damn good Christian, Bible-thumping believer. But they never understood what the word Passover really meant. They thought it was some hocus-pocus ghost floating around out in space and was coming over and brushing over you and passing and saying, okay, yeah, you're free to go. That ain't the way it works. It's your ghost that has to do the releasing of this. Your fiction. Okay. Open it up for questions. Get some people on here to talk, okay?
Okay.
Besides you and Steve, okay? I know there's other people out here that have some damn questions, so ask them, please.
Okay, we have 12 people on the call. So questions, please.
Hi, Patrick.
Yes.
You mentioned that there was an additional Homestead document that had to go with this?
Yes. I took my Homestead, that's a Homestead document that I did about 2-3 weeks ago, okay, the Homestead exemption document, declaration. And I modified that for what we're doing presently with these quick claim deeds, okay? And I made it Homestead Body and Land Exemption Declaration. And see, we have to come in and claim our body, our human body. Because right now, the church has taken it away from us under the baptismal certificate. And see, that's part of the separation of church and state. It's the state of man being separated from the church state. And the church state is a dead state. Do not they operate the cemeteries? And basically, they're holding that baptismal certificate under a 999-year lease. So that means they have a 999-year lease on your body. Why do you think they get you to cremate yourself or to basically go in and put your body into a casket, an entombment, like the pharaohs did? So that basically the body was not going back to Mother Earth. The debt was never being repaid. The original sin was not being given back to Mother Earth. You had a question? Go ahead.
So what if you're not baptized?
Well, did you ever belong to a religious church?
Yeah, but I was speaking in terms of my my daughter, because she's not baptized and not a member of any church.
Okay, but see, the state has you under this certificate of live birth, which is also another form of a baptismal claim.
Right.
See,
okay, I was
both
thinking in terms of that
the church and the state both basically have a claim against the body.
Right. Okay.
Because the church or the state also runs cemeteries.
So that's just an extra one. So if you have, there's another lease if you've been baptized.
Yeah, you've got to do that one too.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. I figured that. Thanks.
Because see, they're claiming the original sin, but also the state comes in under this. So if they don't catch you one way, they'll catch you another way.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, basically, these guys are tricky. They'll go after you any which way they can.
They got you boxed in from every corner, yeah.
Yeah, well, they don't have us boxed in, okay? We only build the box around ourselves. We can tear the box down because it's just paper.
Right.
I mean, it's not like it's a brick wall that you got to try and walk through. You can rip through paper. Yeah, it's just that everybody thinks that paper has them boxed in. So it's a false belief.
Right.
Yeah, they painted the paper to look like bricks, but basically if you go up there and put your finger through it, basically you'll punch right through it. It's all a fraud. Paper fraud.
Leap of faith.
The more you understand, basically the faster these things will start flowing to you. The understanding of all this stuff. I mean, then, and basically, don't stop there, okay? You get into this, and basically you should be spending at least 2 to 3 hours a day going through words in the dictionary, instead of going down and watching Oprah on the soapbox or whatever, or getting onto the Internet. Stay the hell away from that damn Internet. All the group discussions and everything. Go and study on your own. You'll learn more that way. Because a lot of these other people out here are totally dead wrong. And they're just messing with your mind. It's you that has to understand what's going on. And that's why in a lot of cases I am damn glad that I don't have Internet right now.
Trap. I have a question about the certified mail, Patrick. At one point we were sending it that way, then we decided that the bonds were a problem, and
the certified mail is okay. It's a 20-digit number, so basically they're not doing an insurance policy on that. There's no insurance associated with a certified mailing.
And what if they just don't pick it up? The one I sent out to the Secretary of State, I keep checking it on the website. They keep attempting to deliver it, and these people, they're not accepting it.
What state are you sending it to?
New York.
To Albany?
Yeah. It's just they've been sending it out since
basically, 10th. Yeah.
Did you fax it there?
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Maybe that's why they weren't getting it, because they already saw the fax, and they were like, "We're not."
That's probably the problem right there. You sent something, and they're not going to pick it up.
Yeah, I figured maybe they knew what it was.
Okay. Now you just basically need to get your apostilles in, and you send that to the notary department. You can find the address for that notary, and they have to take those at the notary department.
To be apostilles?
For the apostilles of your quitclaim deeds.
Okay.
Don't put anything on the outside of the letter. Just address it to that apostille department.
Okay.
And the certified mail label on it.
I thought that they weren't allowed to refuse official mail. Isn't that them violating their public duties?
You don't have to pick up the mail in your mailbox. You can leave it sit right there.
It wasn't. But it's a.
No, there's no difference. Okay. Basically, after a certain period of time, then it has to come back to you.
I'm pretty sure it is, because it says on the website.
They're going to sit there and they're going to play the game with you. So don't worry about those. The documents you sent in were not the apostilling documents, were they?
No.
So we did a process of learning, a tweaking.
Right.
So just don't forget that right now. Move on to what really it needs to be done. The quitclaim deeds.
Well, that's what I sent them.
Huh?
That's what I sent to the Secretary of State, the quitclaim deed.
But not the apostille one.
Did you send it to the notary department?
No.
Huh?
No. I sent it the original that we were talking about the week before last.
Right. That's off.
Yeah. Okay.
Look at the quitclaim deed that I did right now, okay? That other one that we sent in wasn't totally up to snuff, okay?
Perfected, right. I got you.
And then you send it to the notary department. You do not send it to the Secretary of State's office itself.
Okay. They're going to sick of me. I'm sending it everywhere.
Now, don't get too damn carried away, okay?
You got to knock on every door until somebody opens it.
Yes, and basically it's the notary either at the court can do a apostille, or you go to the Secretary of State's notary apostille department and put it into there.
So I could theoretically get this thing apostilled in any state.
What?
I can get it apostilled in any state?
No.
Oh, okay.
You've got to do the state document at the state that it was issued from, or if you are at a consulate, okay, you can go to the consulate of the country and get a document apostilled there. You can go to the federal court level and get it apostilled at that level. But that's, and then the DD-214, the military document, and your Social Security, because it's under a special administration under the federal government office, so those have to go to the secretary, to the notary department there at the Secretary of State in D.C. or in Virginia, whichever the case may be. I think if you go into the internet and pull down the addresses for those, they should be posted up there of where to get the apostilles done. And always call and check with them. Always call and check with them for the value. See, that document you sent up to them, did you have a money order with it?
No.
No. So you weren't asking for an apostille yet.
No.
So that document ain't worth shit. Okay? So put that one aside in your mind. You need to have your money order. You need to find out how much it is at the state level. At the federal level, it's $8 per document.
For anybody else who's looking for the apostille department, I found them on a couple different websites. One is called for the Department of Justice, and then some of them are actually called the Secretary of State. So
you have to go to the Secretary of State's office. That's the real one. And then basically you can, after you get it apostilled, then you can bring in the Attorney General's office into the frail in the process, along with the courts, to go and have them now seize your property and return it to you to do the completion of the Passover. See, the completion of the Passover in the book of Exodus was the tearing down of the capstone off the Great Pyramid, giving all the people the gold that was deposited, their labor. See, the Federal Reserve and all these people that think that the banks own anything, they don't own nothing. It's all on paper. It's all a fraud. And then they're trying to control us with that fraud piece of paper. Like I said, they're putting up a paper brick wall around you. And you're just sitting there scared as hell to punch through that paper brick wall. The paper tagger was a good example of this. I think Jack Nicholson had a couple good movies out there. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And a couple of these other ones out there were addressing some of these same items. Who's really the crazy one? The ones on the outside or the ones on the inside of the insane asylum? In a lot of cases, the sane ones were the ones that were inside the insane asylum, and all the crazy people out here are just run amok because they'll believe any damn thing. Any other questions?
Yes, I have another question about the Homestead Declaration.
Yeah.
So, should we get that apostilled at the federal level?
No, do it at the state level. Basically, a lot of your homestead exemptions are at the state level. And so you're using the state document, okay? You were born in that state, okay? The state of your birth. Like,
Well,
I have my original hospital birth certificate, okay? My hospital birth certificate under gold seal. Now, what does an apostille get? A gold seal from the Great Seal of the state. It's in gold, or similarity of being gold.
What if the seal falls off? Because mine is the head of gold seal and it's off.
Glue it back on.
It's gone. When my mother gave it to me, it was already gone. It's just
Is the impression there?
No, you could just see like the glue that used to be there.
Just claim that it was a copy and basically that the seal was lost. Okay?
I have a question, Patrick.
Yeah.
What's the difference between apostille and authentication?
The apostille is basically was what was identified in Jesus' time by the apostles.
It's not related to the post office?
No.
No? Okay. Just asking.
No, it's authenticity is basically you can look up the two different definitions in the dictionaries, okay?
Well,
that might help explain the difference to you, okay?
Authentic means genuine, real. What does apostle mean?
You're getting a verification from the estate or from the state that you are who you say you are. They're basically the same thing, really.
No, how can it be the same thing? They're two different words. This is just,
no, they're not.
Apostille is French for certification.
Yeah, but it's still not
or an official certification, okay?
Yes.
Right. But I still don't get it.
It's a Hague Treaty that set this up.
What did you say, Tom?
It's a Hague
Go
Treaty.
to the dictionary and look up the different definitions of it that go to more than one dictionary, okay? Like a civilian dictionary.
Right. Like even Wikipedia, they're great.
Because, see, you're not going to find the word Passover in any of the law dictionaries, and that is one of the most important laws out here.
Which one?
Passover.
Oh, okay.
That is one of the oldest laws, and that is a right of Passover. You have the right to pass over anything to somebody else. But yet, it's not in the law dictionaries, is it?
So Passover and apostille. I'm a bit lost. So apostle is the one you're prescribing to get.
Yes, we want it apostilled, okay? And then basically it is acknowledged. See, an authenticity is not acknowledged by a foreign country. It has to be apostilled to be accepted by a foreign country. And we're dealing with a whole bunch of foreign countries within this country. Every state, all capital state of whatever, is a foreign country, a foreign state. It's a dead man's state. That's why you need to have the apostille.
Patrick, I have another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you said you were talking about the Homestead Declaration getting an apostille at the state, and you brought up the certificate of live birth. But me, I'm a naturalized so-called citizen. I think I should go to the federal level to get this apostille.
You should go to the federal. Everything that basically your documents are associated with have to go through the federal level then. Unless you have a driver's license or a certificate of title or a mortgage or something at the state level.
Okay, great. That's what I thought.
Yeah, okay.
So I have another question. You mentioned something about federal cases. Do you suggest that we maybe open a miscellaneous case at the federal level?
Well, if you've got one already or an existing one that was closed down within, say, the last 3 years, you can go in and try and reopen that under your special right to reopen up this case and then put these documents into that case, these quitclaim deeds in there, and present those as special items to the judge.
But only if they're federal, in federal court?
I would only do it at the federal level, okay?
Right, yeah.
Because you need to have the U.S. Marshals, and the U.S. Marshals do not operate at the state level. But you get something apostilled at the state level, okay? Now when you put this into the court at the federal level, they have to act upon that.
Any more questions, guys?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Patrick. You gave us a lot to do here, but you also gave us a lot of information tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you just need to read those definitions and then read and understand those quick claim deeds that I have up there.
And go over this call again. I'm going to do.
Now, break down everything that is being said word for word in those quick claim deeds,
right,
so that you understand what is being said there.
Okay.
Know that basically you have an office of ecclesiastical notary. So go back and study the words ecclesia, all the definitions, and that was, I forget which word definitions that I had up there, having those in there.
Right. In the current folder, all your list of definitions have definition in the title of the file.
Yeah,
Okay.
perpetuity.
Yeah.
But certain primary things that I like to review once in a while is stuff like, you said when we made applications, like for the Social Security number or the driver's license or whatever, we the grantor or whatever, it was given to a prodigal son because it's dead because we didn't come forward at age 21 or 25. Therefore, it's a testator, and we're doing the Passover to get it back to us as grantees, and grantees can only be living.
Yeah.
It's just important to I'm just getting that straight in my head, but I like to say it because it's practice.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. But thanks, Patrick. This is really like golden knowledge, man.
Yeah, and basically this is simple. And this is what the bankruptcy judge told a couple guys down in South Carolina. You can do this yourself. You don't have to have us make a ruling for you.
Wow.
You come in, and that's what he was saying. The judge was trying to tell him that. Don't come to us to make a ruling. You do this, and then you present your stuff to us, and then we will issue the order out to the U.S. Marshals to go and seize your property. But you have to give us the documents that basically make us do that.
So it was right when we were going through bankruptcy. You just didn't have the right document.
That's right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, see, we were missing the quick claim deeds, the Passover document, and then also getting it apostilled so that it can go against a foreign country. That's the only reason we need to have this apostilled, is because we're dealing with a foreign country, the country of the dead. The 14th
and that's
Amendment
our fault
country.
too.
Huh?
And that's our fault too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all our fault because we've been operating out here listening to too many people and not checking out whether they really knew what the shit they were talking about. And then to know, like I said, on that one territorial definition, Roman or Latin, whatever definition there, is that we are not obligated to follow. We lose our immunity if we follow their damn laws.
Yeah. I was trying to tell somebody that yesterday.
Yeah. You basically go along with their laws, and you just lost your immunities. And that's why in some cases, see, I've had several items, like the IRS come after me out of Atlanta, Georgia. But yet I put documents in at the state level with the IRS, and basically they won't touch me. I mean, I should have been pulled into federal court if basically I hadn't already had something and I refused a summons with the IRS out here and said, basically, you don't have jurisdiction over me.
Right.
Pretty much end of subject. I called back later and was talking to the one girl that basically was handling my account there at the state level, and she said, well, I can't talk to you anymore because basically your account has been moved up to a higher level.
Mm.
See, they didn't want her to know exactly what had taken place. But when I refused to comply with one of their summonses and then to turn around and not have them bring me into a federal court scenario, they don't want me in the federal court.
They want loyal little slaves who they can control. They don't want people who don't.
Yeah, they want people that are arguing the wrong side of something.
Right.
The codes of law. And see, if you stay away from those codes of law, then you're not in their jurisdiction.
Like they don't want our wins on their record.
Right. They don't want evidence.
Yeah. You do not give any credence to their laws.
Yep. I agree. I think you're the only one out here who really gets this, Patrick. That's real. That's how I really feel.
Well, there are some other people out here because basically, like one of the guys out in Idaho there told me that before one of the guys died, he was told by this guy that there was he knew a couple that was going back and forth up into Canada, and they had their own identification cards, but they had them apostilled, so that's what they were using as their passport and as their driver's license.
Right.
So you take that identification card document that I have up there, you modify that appropriately, and I'll try and send all of these documents in Word and different formats over to Tom on that damn little Wigman sheet that you sent to me, Tom. I'm going to send it back to you with all these files on it. Okay, so they'll be in Word document, so you guys can stop playing around with conversion on some of this stuff.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And then you basically get that identification card the same way. Okay, you sign it, and then you do your apostille on it, your ecclesiastical apostille. You're the only one who knows who you are. Okay? The public don't know who you really are. They're only looking at a dead picture, trying to say that that's you. But that ain't you. That was a time in space picture. That may have been you 5 years ago, whatever, the other day. And see, that's one thing, like the Indians in the Amazons, and also a lot of the shamans and stuff over in Africa, they did not allow people to take their pictures because they were taking their spirit away from them.
Yep.
See, they knew the law better than we know the law. No shit.
That's really sad.
Yeah. I mean, and basically also, if you want to learn the real law, study the birds and the bees. That was no damn joke that basically about knowing about the birds and the bees. How do they interface with one another? How do they operate in harmony? See, only mankind operates in total disharmony. We are the most dysfunctional and most disharmonized organization or organism on the face of the earth. There is no real harmony in us. And that's what the bankers have operated with, is in the disharmony, the dysfunction.
Well, I was actually making reference to all the gurus and the patriot groups and stuff like that. They're all talking about codes and statutes and laws and the crown, and they're all talking a bunch of this crazy stuff that I think, personally, locks you into the system tighter.
Well, it will give you a remedy in some cases, and then the people think that basically, hey, they got that remedy, so basically this must be real good. That they don't see the downside of doing that, and that they're still in the system. They're not out of the system. That's the problem. It's just a quick fix. Yeah, like taking an aspirin for a headache. Yeah, it cured it for a little while, but basically the damn thing keeps coming back.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions or any comments or anything? Okay, call or quits, Tom.
Thank you very much, Patrick.
Thanks, Patrick.
Okay, later.
Hey,
All right, guys.
Bye.